sorry again for the long wait for this video. I know that I promised you guys a Teemo themed video a while ago, and I finally have found the time to kind of put it all together. I was in an online course that lasted 6 weeks, and that's done now. And additionally, I am working at a new internship, which is in the power industry. So that's been really exciting so far. I hope you guys are having a great summer. You should all comment and tell me if you guys are on vacation or just hanging out and relaxing, or maybe you have a job that you're doing right now, or an internship like me. So you might have noticed that my camera quality is slightly better now, and that's because I got a new webcam. I noticed some comments that just said that I should try to improve my video quality for you guys, so I'm trying to do that a little bit. And then also I was able to find this little Sony recording device that I'm using at my house, actually. And it's nothing super fancy, but it does work better than my computer audio, which is what I was using before. So we're going to start off here, and I hope you guys really enjoy the video. So first, I'm just going to talk a little bit about a few Teemo items that I have, and really it's two main things. The first one being my Teemo hat, which you guys have seen me wear before. And then the second item is my new Teemo Slippers that I actually just got a couple weeks ago in the mail. So starting off with the hat, I received this Teemo hat as a gift. I think it was maybe for my birthday. So it was a while ago in October, and I received it as a gift, and it was a really great gift. I really love plush things. I really love League of Legends related things, and I really like cute hats that I can wear because I live in a pretty cold climate during the winter. You guys can see it's basically made out of green, sort of plush material. It's very soft. And then it's got these little goggles. And then little ears. And then on the back, we've got the League of Legends logo. So, this one makes a nice sort of fabric-y sounds. I don't know if you can hear that. It fits really well. And it's a bucket hat, so it's got this sort of wide brim that goes around. And it's nice because it's not really tight, so the fit basically prevents you from getting significant hat hair, which is nice if you're like me and you have hair that is easily messed up. Yeah, so this is what it looks like on. And this is great for cosplay. If you want to whip up a Teemo costume for a convention or Halloween or for a social get-together, anything you want, really. This hat is great. It's cute, but also definitely recognizable by people who play League of Legends, as Teemo is quite an iconic character. I think anyone would really recognize this. So, I will put a link in the description box to where you can buy one of these. If you guys want to get one, then I say definitely go for it. 2 thumbs up on this hat. So next we have the Teemo Slippers. Back up a little bit so you can see. So these were from Amazon.com, and I ordered them myself. They were, I think, about $9. They have the same kind of green plush sort of fabric that was on my Teemo hat I just showed you guys. And then the base is this nice sort of rubbery, plasticky foam that's on the bottom of a lot of slippers, and I found that it makes some really great sounds that I wanted to share with you guys. These also serve a functional purpose in that they are good for traction if you're wearing these on a hardwood floor or a tile floor. So it keeps your feet very warm, and it also is good for traction. I believe that this one I bought was kind of like women's one-size-fits-all, so they're pretty big on my feet, and I'll post a picture of kind of what it looks like on. They make my feet look very big, but I think it's kind of cute, and they're very warm. Not really good for the summer, but they'll be great in the winter. So we've got this little base, and I like that it has these little sort of cheek fur detailing here. And then we have his goggles. And his little ears. I just love his smiling facial expression. I think it's very cute. I would say that either of the 2 things that I showed you guys would be great for really any kind of gift for a someone who's a fan of the game, I believe that they also have the Teemo Slippers in men's sizes, so you can get those, and I'll try to find a link to that. And yeah, it's a really fun way to just show your love for a certain game by having some of the merchandise and just being able to wear it around the house, and maybe if you go to college, wear it around there, or show your friends so that they can also see how much you appreciate the game. So next I am going to do a soft-spoken reading of Teemo's Lore. I really do think it's one of the more interesting lores, and certainly, in my opinion, the most interesting Yordle lore. I might be biased because I really like Teemo, but I think it's quite interesting. So I'm going to read that. Teemo is a legend among his Yordle brothers and sisters in Bandle City. As far as Yordles are concerned, there is something just slightly off about him. While Teemo enjoys the companionship of other Yordles, he also insists on frequent solo missions in the ongoing defense of Bandle City. Despite his genuinely warm personality, something switches off inside Teemo's mind during combat so that the lives he must end while on patrol do not burden him. Even as a young recruit, the drill instructor and other trainees found it a little disconcerting that, while Teemo was normally charming and kind, he turned deadly serious and highly effective the minute combat exercises began. Teemo's superiors quickly steered him towards the scouts of the Mothership, which is one of Bandle City's most distinguished special forces unit, alongside the Megling Commandos. While most Yordles do not handle solo scouting missions with a great deal of finesse, Teemo is remarkably efficient at them. His record of success in defending Bandle City from infiltrators easily makes him one of the most dangerous Yordles alive, though you'd never know it by having a cup of honey mead with him at his favorite inn. Bandle City chose Teemo as their first champion for the league, and he has taken to it like a duck to water. His signature weapon, a blowgun, uses a rare adjunta poison he personally gathers from the jungles of Kamunga. To help cope with his lengthy periods of isolation, Teemo recently struck up a friendship with Tristana, a fellow league champion and a fellow member of Bandle City's Special Forces. This connection is healthy for both Yordles, though now Valoran's voracious media outlets circulate rumors that the friendship is turning into a romantic relationship. Regardless, Teemo is a crowd favorite in the League of Legends and a pint-sized foe that many have come to fear. And then there's a quote from Tristana. It says, Teemo rides a thin line between chipper compatriot and unrepentant killer, but there's no one else I'd rather have as a friend. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes just talking about just some information about Teemo as a champion, and I am by no means an expert on Teemo. From my little bit of experience with playing Teemo for about a year and a half on and off, I'm going to talk about kind of who he is as a champion, both kind of his image in the game, and then how he's viewed by the community, and then finally gameplay, what his advantages and disadvantages are, specifically as a solo top laner, because that's what he's mainly played as. As far as Teemo's his kind of legacy, his kind of image in the game, I'd say that he's looked at as sort of a mascot. He's small, pocket-sized, lovable, and he's an earlier champion, so he's been around. So they've got the merchandise, obviously, the plushes you sometimes see, and there's obviously a lot of cosplayers. So I think that before you see a lot of champions, you're going to hear about Teemo, and you're going to see Teemo just all over the place on the internet and in comics and just everywhere. I'd say that as much as he's, I guess, one of the most iconic characters, he's also one of the most hated League of Legends characters for a variety of reasons. It's a really just awful feeling when you're trying to escape and you're at like a quarter health and you're like, yes, I'm getting out, and then boom, you step on a mushroom and then you're dead. So I think a lot of it comes from that as well. Strong suits for Teemo. He obviously was nerfed a while ago. He used to be just ridiculous amount of damage that you could get with him with those mushrooms, but he still is, I'd say his strength is still damage. He can do a fair amount, and with Luden's Echo, it brings the mushrooms right back up to just about where they were before. Honestly, I'd say another advantage would definitely be speed. He's a fast little guy. He's got his W, which is a speed buff. So if you're trying to get out of a situation, you can run pretty fast, and he's not super easy to catch. That also allows you to get around quickly, to be sneakier. You can go hide in bushes and run into the jungle and just kind of scurry around generally, get your mushrooms down, and then get out without being bogged down by slow move speed. Last sort of advantage I'm going to mention is, of course, the ult. How could I have a Teemo video without talking about the ult? Teemo's ult is, I'd say, arguably one of the best in the game, because it's got some major pluses. The damage, very good. Not the best, but pretty good. And the poison, the crowd control. It's got a slow area of effect, slow, so that's cool too. You've got the fact that they last for 10 minutes. Once you place one, 10 minutes, that's a good amount of time. That's a laning phase, pretty much, like half a laning phase maybe. So, if you place them strategically too, you can keep them around for quite a while. So, I usually put them places where sort of a new mistake would be to put them right in the middle of the lane where the minions are going to step right on them. But if you put it sort of out to the side, you'll usually get someone to step on it eventually. And if you don't, it'll hang around as a ward for you. So it's really a win-win. But the other thing about his ult is just the fact that you can get so many kills after you're dead, or when you're clear on the other side of the map, or wherever, because if you've got people escaping, if you've got a fight going on and you have a mushroom placed there and someone with a quarter health is running out or something, or they're chasing, you can easily get kills that way. I've gotten so many kills just randomly. I think that the disadvantages of Teemo are pretty numerous as well. I'm not going to pretend like he's a perfect champion or that he's even the best champion for a lot of situations. I would not pick a Teemo into a Darius. I've learned that the hard way. Teemo against Morgana is really rough. Anyone with any kind of pull, grab, Swain, hard crowd control, get out, because do not pick Teemo, because the first and main disadvantage of Teemo is that he has no escape other than his little speed buff. So if you get pulled in or grabbed or snared or anything, you're pretty much dead. His squishiness does not lend itself well to getting caught out, so you might be sneaking around, but know that you're constantly at risk of getting grabbed, getting CC'd, and then just pretty much going down immediately. Other things about him, he isn't ideal for team fights. He can be. You have to play it very carefully because of the squishiness. His range is not the best. You're gonna outrange a lot of top laners with him. So early game you're golden, but going up against a mage, going up against a mid laner, or like an Annie or Ezreal, anyone like that, you're outraged. And so that's why I think he's often not played bot lane. I have done it before. It can be very fun depending on who you're up against. But you're going to be outraged by pretty much any mid laner, any mid lane mage, and any kind of like ADC with any kind of range. So that's a disadvantage. That's sort of my take on Teemo. I love playing Teemo. Teemo is so much fun. He contributes a lot to your team, a lot of damage. He contributes a lot of good escapes. He can facilitate with his mushrooms, a lot of vision, and just a lot of stuff. Teemo can be an integral part of any team, but he can also be a liability if you're not good. So make sure that before you're taking Teemo into any kind of serious situation, you really master things like blinding someone when they're about to get a CS, or where to put the mushrooms. I'd say that my main build right now for Teemo is I rush the Luden's Echo. That's very first. After the start items, which I get the ring, the Doran's ring, and usually 2 health pots. I teleport into lane, and then my first recall, I try to get one of the parts, depending on how much money I have, one of the parts of Luden's Echo. I rushed that Luden's Echo as soon as possible because it is so good on Teemo. So much AP, so much free extra AP on top of everything that he already has going for him. So, yes, get the Luden's Echo. Next, by this point, I'll have boots, first level boots. I will usually upgrade those pretty quickly because you want to really take advantage of that speed, the speed buff that he has. Make him as fast as possible, as hard to catch as possible, and it's good for just about everything. So I upgrade those boots to Sorcerer's Shoes. Next, I start working on usually the Nashor's Tooth. That has great amount of attack speed for Teemo, and with the poison, it's just like the damage output is ridiculous. So Nashor's Tooth is still a very good item on Teemo. I get that. Next is a Death Cap or Zanya's. I sometimes switch the order of those based on what I need in the situation. If I think I need the Zanya's, I'll go for that first. But other than that, my default would be the Death Cap. After that, usually I'll get a Void Staff, just to kind of round off that strong AP build. So that's pretty much all I have to say about Teemo. You guys can watch my Teemo gameplay video, ASMR, soft-spoken, if you haven't done that yet. And I'll try to do another one that, with the new audio recording device, just better, less noisy audio quality. So, look for that. I can't really guarantee when it'll be, but hopefully sooner rather than later, since I'm actually leaving for Europe, study abroad, in like a month and a half. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I hope that you learned something about Teemo and maybe came to appreciate him a bit more than you did before. Alright, talk to you later.